besties, welcome to our exclusive interview. And today we're at With the Fest in Jakarta, and we're so glad that right here beside me we have Jake Scott.
Hey!
Woo! How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
How was the performance out there?
It was so fun. I'm so sweaty.
Okay.
But it was a great time. Great crowd. Just as crazy to be here and playing in front of so many people.
All right. So you are actually originally from Arkansas, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. How's the weather compared so far, like in Arkansas and Indonesia? I know it's completely different, like
It's
southern.
very different. I mean, it's humid in both places, but it's different here. It's a different kind of humidity.
Okay, it's different kind of humid.
Yeah.
Okay, let's talk about your past. Like, who actually inspired you most in the music industry? Like growing up in Arkansas, listening to country music and a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I listened to country music,
Yeah.
but I was kind of resistant to it because I didn't really want to be surrounded by it, if that makes any sense. I pushed away from it.
Okay.
I love it now, kind of in hindsight, but I didn't like it growing up. And I loved John Mayer and Coldplay and Taylor Swift, people like that. That was what I always gravitated towards.
The pop music.
Pop music, singer-songwriters, all that. So I still love it.
And from now, in the present career of your music, who actually inspired you most? I mean, okay, back then you love pop music and stuff, and this time or currently, who's a musician that you're listening to? Or
currently listening to? I mean, I gotta say I still love Taylor Swift. I'm always listening to Taylor Swift. I'm a big Swiftie. And she's put out Speak Now, so I'm a big, I've been redigesting all that. I mean, recently I've actually been going back to things that I grew up on. It's kind of funny, the full circle timing of it, because I didn't really listen to that stuff like John Mayer, Coldplay.
Okay.
For a good stint, I was just listening to what was current, what was happening in pop music. And then recently I found myself kind of going back to the things that I loved as a teenager, so that I could kind of almost reconnect with that,
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's kind of reconnect to things that you loved when you were young.
Right, exactly.
When you're still young. Okay, now let's talk about your song, She Likes It, that you work with Russell Dickerson, right? Okay. How did you end up working with him, and how was the music production at that time going on? Can you tell us a little bit about it?
So I had released a song of mine called Can We Just Be Happy Now?
Yeah.
And the guy I wrote the song with, his name's Josh Kerr. Russell and he and Josh were friends already, and so Russell DM'd Josh on Instagram, just yo, this song is great. You, me, and Jake should write a song sometime.
Yeah.
And then Josh DM'd me and was like, hey, you want to work with Russell? And I was like, yes, absolutely, I want to work with, because he's a huge country artist.
Yeah.
And so,
from Tennessee, right?
Yeah, he's
from Tennessee, right? Yeah.
And so the next time I was in Nashville, a few months later, we all got together and.
Well, it happened.
Yeah.
Okay. So how long was that? The process of you making that song?
Making the song?
Yeah.
I mean, we wrote it in a day.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I mean, that's usually
quick.
how it goes. But we wrote it in one day, and then it probably took a couple weeks to finish it. But what we got the day of is essentially what was the finished product. It was.
Oh, wow.
We changed very little.
That's very quick.
Yeah.
Okay. Now let's move on to the next question about your single "Burn" featuring John Kay, right? And could you tell and spill to us about what that song is about?
I mean, he and I are both married. We've been married for a while, and we met the day we wrote the song, and we were just kind of talking about how we were just catching up, getting to know each other, and it was okay, I'm married, I have 2 babies, he's married, he has 1 baby.
Yeah.
And we were just talking about it's crazy being musicians and having families and trying to do the, touring and songwriting, and it's very it's hard to balance everything. And then we started talking about being in a relationship and how important it is to be really vulnerable and how hard that is. And that's really what the whole song is about, it's just this it's kind of almost call to honesty and call to vulnerability,
Can you tell us about adulting too? Adulting, being a parent.
Adulting, yes, it's totally yes.
Okay, but that answer actually leads to my next question. You were a father of 2.
Yeah.
How does you manage your time between your career and the family? You're touring.
Yeah. I mean, basically, my life just doesn't have a whole lot of like time to do much else. It's like whenever I'm not with my family, I'm out on the road doing this, and then whenever I'm not doing this, I cherish every second I can.
Oh, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
All right. So, now talk about your married young. I don't know, but I believe that people in Arkansas love to marry young. Sorry,
it's true. It's so
I have
true.
a history. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay. So, married young, tell us about your point of view of. I mean, kids nowadays they don't want to marry young, but you're oppositely like. Well, why you choose? You think that married young is actually it's good.
Yeah.
By the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for a long time, as a songwriter, I've kind of tried to because it's not the norm. Like, kids are like, oh, I don't want to get married young. And so as a songwriter, I've tried to kind of allude to the fact that oh yeah, I'm married. And I got married at 24. Like I was young. But I just kind of got to the point where I was like, this is my story. Like, I'm not going to try to be ambiguous about it. I'm just going to come right out and say it. Like, that was my mindset at the time. And it's still my mindset of if you know this is the person you want to spend the rest of your life with, what's the point in waiting? If you know, then let's go.
And you made a song out of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's very romantic, actually. You should listen to that song because it sounds very spontaneously asking someone to marry you in young age. Okay, right. So, as you're from Arkansas, Razorback.
The Hogs.
Okay, the Hogs. Can you tell us, this is like a challenge, okay?
Yeah.
Teach us, one word or actually, a mini sentence, I don't know, using your accent in Southern. So you teach me.
Okay.
Okay.
So in Arkansas, there's a thing centered around the Razorbacks that we say woo pig suey.
We pig suey. No, no.
Great. You're close. Woo pig suey.
Woo pig suey.
Yes.
Did I say correctly?
You nailed it.
Okay. I will teach you.
You go to Arkansas, you say woo pig suey. People are going to give you a high five and a hug.
I'm going to Little Rock.
You go to Little Rock. Let's go.
Okay. Now I got to teach you one word in Indonesia.
Please.
Mantul, mantap betul.
Mantu.
Mantap betul.
Mantap betul.
Okay, right. Thank you so much, Jake, for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. And don't forget to listen on his music. And of course, check out our interview only on CreativeDisc.com. Bye-bye.